We are doing Lions news and rumors for you folks today. In this video, we're going to break it all down. You talking about Jameson Williams. Dan Campbell showing him some mad love, and he's a riser in OTAs. We're going to talk about the preseason matchups, talking about injury updates and OTAs, everything about our Lions up to date. Let's go. Make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Easy to do so. Just go ahead and do it. Dan Campbell provides a promising injury update on Brian Branch. Go ahead and check this out on Pride of Detroit. So he had a cleanup for surgery. It's not a big deal. He said he had a cleanup here. Campbell said about Brian Branch, something coming out of last year. Throw him a heel, and then it just ended up being, we better just get this thing done. So that's where it's at. And I think that he likes riding scooters. He feels like he's progressing well. He feels like he is ready to get training camp. If not early enough, he'll be. Certainly, he'll get enough reps and ready for the season. That's how we get right now. Not worried about injury or Brian Branch right now. He's dinged up because he had a cleanup. And guess what? I think if you had a microscopic surgery or understand that, it's not like it's a surgery that's going to take you down for months. It's not the case. I've had microscopic surgeries, cleanups in my shoulder, and 2 weeks later, I'm feeling much better. So, look, some of these guys are going to be banged up because it's a long season for them, especially, rookies where they're going from playing not many games as college and compared to the National Football League, and then the competition is higher and the physicality. So, it takes a little bit. So, I'm not worried about Brian Branch. I don't think anybody should be worried about Brian Branch. He will be fine for the 2024 NFL season. But let me know in the comment section right now, are you worried about Brian Branch? Why for yes and for no? Next, here, we're going to talk about Dan Campbell talking about Jameson Williams being a man on a mission, and he has been doing this at OTAs. I seen on Sporting News that was the player that they thought was the most impressive player was Jameson Williams, and you've seen the progression of Jameson Williams. Last year, he really started to change from being a player, like, was this a bust, which I didn't think so, to a player that is really good catching the football. Route running is now great. He is now physical wide receiver, even though he's skinny. So you're seeing the progression. And I've said this 1,000 times over. If you ever played the game of football, it can relate to other sports as well, baseball or whatever. The moment that you're stopped thinking about what you're going to do and you just react and do it is when you really take that step forward. And so for some people, when they learn something new, or in Jameson Williams' case, learn a scheme and get on the same page with Jared Goff and all that lovely stuff, people learn at a different speed, and it takes a little bit of time. And he finally got to the point to where it's now he's just reacting to the play. And him and Jared Goff are on the same page. So he is a man on a mission. And I'm sure he gets tired of the people talking about him. The radio was destroying him the last 2 years, and I was very patient explaining that it's going to take some time. No, we shouldn't trade him. No, he's not a bust. Blah, 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 blah. He's not a bad player. And long and behold, it's exactly what happened. It took Derek Barnes 3 years. It took Ifutu Melifonwu 3 years. Jameson Williams, guess what? With the suspension and being injured, it took him about a year and a half, right? So his development was slowed down by the injury and the betting. And so now he's doing great. And of course he wants to make him clear his name. He's seen what Amon-Ra St. Brown got. Big old contract. He wants to get paid. So of course they're going to step up. Of course. He wants to get paid. And he wants to get paid like the big guy. So it'll be really exciting to see what J-Mo can do now given the opportunity, and I think he's going to take it. Detroit Lions preseason here. We're going to be doing joint practices with the New York Giants. Kansas City Chiefs refuse. So we're going to be doing just one here, and generally we do that, and it's funny that they refuse to do it. I think it's stupid. I like the joint practices. I think it works well for both teams. You can get the development and learning when you're not going against your own team members and kind of see how your team is looking. Maybe last year the Kansas City Chiefs would have done it even though we faced them week one. But now the Lions are a good team, and They don't want to do it. So, like, for a team like the Giants to do a joint practice with Lions, it's really beneficial to them because they're a bad team. They want to see how they hold up against a good team. Makes perfect sense. I like the joint practices. I like it when teams do that. Now, the Steelers is probably not going to be a joint practice either. Some teams do it, some teams don't. I prefer doing it, and I think it makes it fun even at training camp if you're a fan to see the Lions players going against other team players, not their own players. You want to see them against other competition. I think joint practices are a good thing. I think it's beneficial towards the football team. I think it's beneficial towards the players. I think it helps out on many different facets. We did the joint practice with the Indianapolis Colts a couple years ago, and we started out rough, and then we're really starting to get better. So it's one of those deals where it helps out both teams, and I prefer the joint practices. I do. I prefer it over other. What do you guys think? Do you guys prefer it over other? Do you like having joint practices? Do you not? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Really curious to see on this one. So there's a ton of injuries that was at OTAs. Okay, we're talking about a ton. I seen the list. It was gigantic. Brian Branch is on there, but we already talked about him. I know a lot of people are concerned about injuries, folks. I'm gonna want to relax your mind in this one. Okay, the Lions had a longer season than most because of the playoffs. The Lions, if there's any sort of dinged up, anything, I'll even say a broken fingernail, rest them. Let these guys rest up. There's no reason to go full charge in OTAs. If there's any sort of injury of any player, of any kind, let them rest. Let them rest. Our team has had a lot more reps and has been with each other more than a lot of other teams that were especially not in the playoffs. We had a long playoff run. The only team longer is the Kansas City Chiefs and the 49ers. And when you have that, rest them up a little bit. We're not used to it. There is no need to rush it. Are you guys concerned about missing reps in OTAs? I don't think anybody's concerned about that. So, we need to get the younger guys the most reps or the backups the most reps because they don't see a lot of playing time in the regular season. So those are the guys that you want to see get the reps, the Hendon Hookers of the world, the Donovan Peoples-Jones of the world. Even though they're kind of on the same page and he's not a rookie, but he wasn't on the team long. So maybe you want to see him get a little more. The Broderic Martin, you want to see him get snaps. Jack Campbell, right? You want to see him get snaps. Players who weren't getting as much snaps last year, that's the people and the rookies you want to see get the most. So I'm not concerned. Okay, so we're going to do the 5 positional battles, and wide receiver 3 is the big one here, 110%. That is a major battle that we got to be looking for. Who's going to step up? Kalif Raymond, Donovan Peoples-Jones. Does somebody else step up? Isaiah Williams, Antoine Green. I think it's really between Kalif and Donovan Peoples-Jones. I already think that Jamo's locked up as number 2. Obviously, St. Brown's number 1. Who's going to be officially the number 3? To me, it doesn't really matter. I like Kalif Raymond a lot. I think he can handle it down. I think Donovan Peoples-Jones can handle it down. But it's going to be a fun camp battle to see who wants the spot more. And then to see the rest of the wide receivers battle for that final spot. Offensive tackle 3. So Giovanni Manu and Dan Skipper. Who is going to take out that spot for the tackle position? Great. I love it. I think Giovanni Manu needs development. He has the long-term solution, so I'm going to say it's probably Dan Skipper that's going to get the nod. But as Manu develops and he gets better in being a pass protector and a run blocker because he's physically stout, he's just really raw, then I think he'll overtake it at some point, right? He's the long-term solution, but he's raw right now. Maybe he could develop faster. We'll see. But that's going to be a fun one to see a little bit. But, yeah, I think that Skip's got it, the edge. Edge defender number 2. This is going to – I think it's Marcus Davenport's job to lose. I got to keep it 100. But this is going to be a fun battle to see who emerges. Betts, right? Is he going to emerge? Okay. The guy who we picked up who was good in the last league he was in. right? Can he come in here and do that in Detroit? Joshua Pascal, can he take that big jump like we've seen from Mafutu, Falfonmu, Derek Barnes? That big jump from year 3. I want to see what Joshua Pascal, can he come in? We need him to take that jump. We do. You think about John Kaminsky, right? Can he bounce back after having a subpar year last year? But I think it's Davenport's job to lose. It really is, for the number 2 position. Defensive tackle 3, I like this one, right? You got DJ Reader and Aleem McNeil. They're 1 and 2, but who's going to take that number 3 spot? I don't think it's going to be Levi Uzrik. I actually have him as being cut, but he's going to be fighting for it. Broderic Martin's going to be fighting for it. Wingo is going to be fighting for it. So that's going to be a fun one. Now, I'm really excited to see Broderic Martin. I think he's going to surprise people. He's going to be my surprise player of this year, because he really did shred up and turn his body from being kind of like baby fat to a lot of muscles going on in there. So I think he could be the surprise guy. Wingo as well, we're hearing good things from him. So those are going to be fun. I think Levi, those kind of been passed up by now. Cornerback number 2. Yeah, I really think it's going to be Carlton Davis, Terrion Arnold, and Meek Robertson. I think that's kind of what it's going to be. Ennis Rakestraw, can he come in here and battle it up? Carlton Davis, is he going to be good as we think he's going to be good? So that's going to be, all of the corners is going to be fun. I don't even want to just go cornerback 2. I just want to go cornerback position. Like, everything is going to be fun to watch in this one. Meek, Carlton, the backups, Emmanuel Mosley, Kendall Vildor. Who is going to take this out? That is going to be a grandioso camp battle to watch. I'm super excited. Folks, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the latest Lions news and rumors. Adios.